Welcome to the 222nd episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle editor-in-chief Eric Schwartz, as our boy Cody is once again absent.
Working his job. He's shooting photos.
We're also joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Shales Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. I have one preamble.
What do you got?
The hub is open.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look at how they gentrified my boy.
No way. I have to tell you, yeah, we went there, was it Monday?
Yeah,
Just to
Monday,
check it out.
Monday night.
I couldn't really put my finger on it until like the next day, but I was disoriented. Like my memory of the place, then going in there, and it's lovely. It's
very
beautiful.
nice.
It's
I
a
like the
really
vibe.
nice bar with a great vibe, but it's the complete opposite in many ways of the former aura of the hub.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. It's quiet. I like the decorating quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks
Big
really
fan.
good. It looks really good. I think it was
Everything
Lisa Young. We have a story in Thursday's edition about the hub.
I was just looking at that.
It's already up at cronline.com, detailing the sale to Tim Filer and his partners, same partners from McFiler's and McFiler's Chehalis Theater. Bought it, closed it down 2022, I want to say, and then have been renovating it ever since as they continue to build up their other businesses.
It's Lisa Murphy,
I'm sorry.
Tim Filer, and executive chef Travis Roch.
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, and Cody went in, took some really good photos. I decided to lead with the karate poses for that trio that you just mentioned.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I don't know. The hub is quintessential Centralia to me. It just is.
It is, yeah. It's interesting that it's like this now. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
I like it a lot, and we'll be back. But yeah, the old days, it was pretty run down. Like that sounds like a mean way of saying it, but it's like it was an old bar, you know?
It was charmingly shabby.
Yeah, I always liked how it was for both like the younger crowd and the working class, and just maybe elements that aren't like smiled upon at other bars in some cases. Yeah. It was like a nice melting pot, you know? You never knew what would happen if you went out to that back patio area. You get stabbed, you can make a new friend.
Yeah, maybe your new friend stabs you.
Who knows? Sky's the limit at the hub.
I always like to describe it as the kind of place you could go if you wanted to be around other people and also be alone. Like you could just sit at the bar and not talk to anybody. Nobody thought it was weird.
Yeah, definitely. It was always pretty hopping. I mentioned back in the day, as we've discussed before, Tim Filer he put on a show as a bartender. He was a showman. And
absolutely.
A great bartender, Justin Ames, the late Justin Ames, would be working the grill, and it was a whole mood. I missed the old hub, but really enjoyed the new hub.
Long live the new hub.
But disoriented was the only way I could describe it. It was like my memories had clashed with my present.
Yeah, everything's a little different. The bar is towards the back. You know, there's seating up front. I think it's all ages for the front section now too. They
should bring back the chalkboard above the toilet, though, from the old place. I didn't check to see if that was in there, but there was always a fun message or two on there. Maybe a phone number.
Write whatever the hell you wanted on there.
Your email address.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a good time.
ChronicleNewsDump@gmail.com on the chalkboard in there.
Yeah, it's viral marketing, guerrilla marketing. Owen Sexton, the reporter who wrote that up, did a good job, I thought. Tim noted about how there was been a hub for like 100 years, been in different spots from time to time, different owners, so, piece of Centralia back in place.
Yeah. All right. News. First item, friends and family of Darrell Lund gathered to celebrate his life and share stories. Chad was there. He gave a speech. Tony Ketchum was there. He gave a speech. Stacey Denham was there, dressed like Paul Bunyan. He gave a speech. Looked like a good turnout.
Yeah, and it has to be said, Darrell has gotten a lot of love and coverage in his death. There was the Minuteman press event where they had photos with Santa. There was the procession through Chehalis. Of course, the news immediately following his death. And then this was kind of the memorial service celebration of life for friends. Already had one for family. So it might be the last you see of Darrell Lund in the newspaper for a long time. We did have it again today, though. His seat on the Chehalis City Council was filled. I don't know if that's on your notes.
I saw it. I don't have it on my notes. Do you want to talk about who they brought in?
Interviewed 5 people, I think, yesterday. And let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get
They chose a U.S. Army veteran and father of 4 to fill the vacancy. His name is Michael Barton. He joins the council after living in Chehalis for a year.
I thought that was an interesting choice because some of the other names on the list, Dolly Tardish, Pete Hammer. Tardif, I'm sorry. They were finalists as well. Trying to find the full list.
Pete Hammer, Dolly Tardif.
Barton,
Who
of
else
course,
is on
who they
there?
selected.
Troy Reardon, Jenny Zenkner.
Yeah, so they did all the interviews on Monday and then chose Barton at that meeting. And I kind of like the idea of bringing in somebody that's kind of new to Chehalis.
Yeah.
I would also have probably said the same thing if they had chosen anyone else and then, a positive attribute about that choice. But having someone new, that's not such a bad thing. Fresh eyes.
All right, next item. Call of Duty developers visit Packwood to record audio samples at historic Packwood Mill property. Finally, the question of where we dropping, boys, can be answered with East Lewis County.
Hell yeah.
A press release from the Call of Duty developers says, with its unique structural features and sound-reflective surfaces, the mill provided the perfect setting for capturing authentic audio. Prop guns and cannons were used to create impressive sound reflections, transforming the site into an extraordinary recording space. The good news is the echoes in the building already sound like the blue language you'll hear in an anonymous online game. You hear that? Sounds like some noobs are getting smoked out at the old Packwood Mill. The game comes out in 2027. You a big gamer?
Oh, no. I fell off in 2010, with the Xbox One or whatever it was.
Once it went online, you were like, this is not for me anymore.
I need cartridges, man. Discs were a bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah, I agree. It all kind of fell off once you had to see that loading screen.
That just means we got old. Do you think Call of Duty has any needs for hysterical shrieking about local events? Because I kind of know someone that they could record on a Wednesday, Tuesday, or Thursday of any given week, especially if they need their shrieking to be in relation to the county commissioners, something like that.
We'll get there.
Thought about it, but they are looking for new locations to come record at.
If they consider it a haunted newspaper office.
Yeah, it might not be bad. If you think that you've got a good idea though, you should reach out to Discover Lewis County. If you find the story at chronline.com, there is an email address there for you to reach out to, and maybe you too could point them out to somewhere to record audio. I did have to I didn't mean to make light, but Owen's story originally had something like you may be able to recognize sounds of Lewis County, and I was like, I think that's a very select group of people that know the sounds of gunshots at the abandoned Packwood Mill. It's not a non-existent demographic, but I don't think it's very large.
Next item, President Trump names Washington's Joe Kent to lead counterterrorism agency.
You broke this one to me, Aaron.
The president finally fulfilled his promise of helping perennially unemployed, angry white men with no visible source of income and ties to militia groups find jobs.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
But on a serious note, I shudder to think what he considers a terrorist.
We'll see.
Anyone who has dared stand in my way.
You don't have this affliction like I do, but I have a hard time being critical of especially not when you're running for Congress, but counterterrorism. I can't debate counterterrorism with Joe Kent and however many combat visits he had in the Middle East and lost his wife to ISIS basically. And I'm not gonna knock that. His resume is more aligned with this than for Congress, I would say. Yeah.
All right. Next item.
Go. If you have thoughts, do tell.
No, I have no other thoughts.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. There's a lot of notes here. Okay.
Washington State GOP sticks with conservative lawmaker as state party leader. Jim Walsh.
Both of these are Jerry Cornfield joints, by the way, from the Washington State Standard.
Jim Walsh stays up top. Walsh said he wants the party to do a better job turning out Republican voters and ensuring their ballots are tallied. At least one of those things is a real concern. He said, we want to win. I think the state party is unified in running nuts and bolts tactical campaigns that are successful, he said. Since Walsh loves to pepper his press releases with sports metaphors, this is like a coach saying, we want to win and we're unified in running nuts and bolts tactical plays that score points. And then you look up and it's Jerry Jones last season telling everyone he's not firing Mike McCarthy. If Mike McCarthy had never won a Super Bowl and instead of making the playoffs, he texted his own fans messages about the other team disfiguring their children and sending them to hell or whatever.
I see what you did there.
Democrats, meanwhile, reelected Shasti Conrad. Last year, they swept 9 statewide executive posts, gained seats in the legislature, and defeated 3 conservative-backed ballot measures. As the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't let Jim Walsh drive it.
I would also just say counterpoint that I know you have long-standing disdain for Jim Walsh, and that's fine. I get it.
He's a charlatan.
I get what you think. That's fine. But the initiative process was not unsuccessful. There was 3 that just had to be accepted in the legislature, basically at gunpoint, because they knew the people would rejected if you didn't change the pursuit law and you didn't change Parents' Bill of Rights and the other one that got passed.
Parents' Bill of Rights, yeah.
It's a real thing, Aaron.
It is real that it exists. All those things already existed. And
okay, so why do you think
there,
the Democrats passed that into law without bothering to go towards the voters?
Because it already existed.
No, but to you it's outrageous. So if it already existed, why change the Bill of Rights? There was a big hearing today at the Capitol about this very bill. If it was fine, it's already on the books. Why are we going through that dog and pony show?
To let Jim Walsh have a win.
No, I don't. It's not. It's not. I'm saying the initiative process was somewhat successful, and you can call him a big loser all you want, and you would be correct on all of the state races, every single last one of them.
Counterpoint. Ha 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 ha. Period.
I'm just, I don't harbor the hatred that you do for the.
I don't hate Jim Walsh.
I do think he's done some dumb things, but. Can you be in charge of a state party without being a bit disingenuous?
Can you slap a yellow star of David upon your chest?
No, that's reprehensible. I don't defend
People don't
that
forget.
in any way. No, nor should they. We were just having this discussion. There's certain things that you do that will carry with you for all time.
Yeah.
And they should. And maybe at some point you become a better person, but it doesn't mean that that's not right with you.
Yeah. Next item, Lewis County preparing for Phase 2 of Southwest Washington Fairgrounds Equestrian Center planning. As municipal budgets are under constant threat of cuts from the federal government, one project stands above the rest and above reproach, the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds Equestrian Center. That's right, the process of hiring a $2,000 consultant to design a big old barn in the one place in the Twin Cities you can already dance your horse indoors has begun. Imagine pitching this idea in like the 1800s. Not only do you need to build a covered barn so you can ride your horse without getting wet, famously all-weather animals, the horses. You need to hire some out-of-towner to tell you how to conduct the barn raising. George Washington would be furious. A horse indoors? Have you even seen Yellowstone?
George Washington, huh?
Anyway, the RFP closes in a few weeks. It's part of revitalizing the whole fairgrounds. It's not that bad of a project. The fairgrounds are old.
You are just being a contrarian today.
I am just being a contrarian today, yes.
The thought that I had, you've never ridden a horse, have you? Because I can't imagine you on a horse.
I've ridden a horse.
I feel like the horse rode you.
I
can't see you ride a horse.
I've ridden a horse several times.
I don't believe
I'm
you.
not good at it, but I can ride a horse.
Your comments read like a person who's maybe never even seen a horse. Like if I were to ask you to draw a horse, do you think you could get in the ballpark or draw a camel?
It looked like a cow. like you could tell the difference. Like you could draw a differentiating animal between a horse and a camel.
I think the idea is fantastic. The horse area is pretty run down. If you've been there during the fair, you know that there's a huge amount of people who utilize that space. And I do think like it would be a good draw. There's like the Lazy K Ranch, right? Mossy Rock. They do some horse stuff in there.
Yeah.
More private though, or it's a private facility, not a public facility. I think it's a good idea.
It'll bring people in. I mean, hopefully this will develop kind of like the Northwest Sports Hub did, to where it draws people from all over to come to Lewis County and spend their money.
I was just going to say, I kind of was getting PTSD to the whole Northwest Sports Complex process. As you may recall, way back, they wanted an equestrian center with that money for the PFD area for the longest time, and I'm sure you had some reporting on that as well. But I remember going out to various fields. I can remember like the Napavine exit, or exit right before Napavine, if you're heading south. They had plans to put it there. And I remember Brandon Swanson, our old photographer, climbing a tree and shooting down. And every time I drive by there, I'm like, I wasted an entire day pontificating about there being a horse center there.
And again, I've said it on this podcast before, but how many years did it take him of looking around Lewis County to be like, what if we put it where the horses already are?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we're in horse country, man. The Reflector has a horse corral section, so
okay.
Lots of horse people down in Clark County.
Yeah.
People that have horses, not half horse, half person, just to be clear.
Do they have umbrellas for their horses too?
They should be. I'm sure some horses have umbrellas.
Next item. Love Notes. Experience Chehalis launches downtown business initiative allowing visitors to share appreciation. This is a deal where you can write a note to a business around Valentine's Day to express your love. This is cool, even if I think businesses would probably prefer banknotes to love notes. But small acts of kindness are cool too. You can pick up a note at a participating business, fill it out, and drop it in a box and give it delivered. Those businesses include the Alley Hair Bar, Bigfoot Treasure, Book and Brush, Country Chic Baby Co., Gifted Hallmark, Gracie's on Market, Lori Urich Yoga, The Library, Mint City Coffee Roasting, Shakespeare and Company, and Stout Coffee House. Bad news for you, Old Toby not on the list.
What the hell, man?
But you can write a note to the library that says, thanks for the porn.
The companion to this, I meant to have these written up in the same story, but they ended up separate. Centralia Downtown Association has launched Hub City Love Letters to celebrate the city's 150th birthday, which we celebrated recently by being on the mayor's list of 150 things. This very podcast. But the actual date was January 8th, 1875, that the plat was filed for Centralia. This is from the CDA. As part of the Hub City Love Letters, we're collecting 150 heartfelt stories, memories, reflections from those who love Centralia. Whether you've lived here your whole life, just arrived, or have a special connection to our town, we invite you to share what makes Centralia special to you. And there's links in here. So to send a Hub City love letter, you got to send it P.O. Box 391 Centralia to the CDA. Or there's links up with this story at cronline.com where you can submit them directly. I can think of a great love letter or two that I'd like to write, but like you, I was really hoping this would be like a compilation of that pizza box type story that I found. I don't know if the people know this, but I found a pizza box. The year was 2012. It was the summer. I was living in the Logan district, and I was walking back to downtown, as one does, over the 6th Street Viaduct, and there was a pizza box on the ground, and I saw scribbling on the entire inside, like fairly small writing from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And in it was a love letter from one transient, I'm thinking, to another about memories of their lovemaking in various public places around Centralia.
And so that's what you want to submit to the Centralia?
If I still had that pizza box, I would 100% submit that because I feel like it was indicative. It was so raunchy, though.
Yeah,
I've often wondered, like, who was the person, like, who wrote it, like just lots of, like, I want to say it had to be written probably under the viaduct, I'm assuming.
And also, if somebody writes you a love note like that and you just discard it on the side of the road.
Yeah. It was like penthouse Hub City gutter. Like, it was something. It would be perfect for this, though. It wasn't as bad as the parody that you and Pete and guys made on a separate pizza box that was more specific to me personally.
I think Pete burned that one, actually.
I hope so. It was horrible. It could ruin a lot of people's lives.
Any other news items, or shall we take the break?
Yeah, we can circle back. There is a really good story not good story. It's a long story. I'll say it that way. And interesting that we had teased on here before. It's in Thursday's edition regarding a bit of a clash between Commissioner Pollock, Sheriff Snaza, which is kind of old news, but then kind of draws in dozens, maybe hundreds of complaints from the Pollock residents about a neighbor from her husband over the last 10 years. It's been an ongoing thing. Kind of bubbled to the surface during a January meeting of the commissioners with Sean Swope, commissioner, kind of alleging that maybe she was lashing out at the sheriff's office because of her personal situation. It's kind of a messy story. Just to write, I don't mean it in like as far as the subject matter goes. Just it also deals with the promotion of a deputy who has a Brady letter and a complaint or 3. Some resolved, maybe 1 not. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head from the CJTC, Criminal Justice Training Commission. For past behavior, we've written about Detective Erin Wiley before when she came on board at Napavine in 2018, 2019 or so. Got a letter from the prosecutor's office notifying that she has a Brady letter, which means you've been untruthful or there's something in your past that might call your testimony into question.
Who writes Brady letters?
I believe the prosecutor.
Okay.
And yeah, there's been some discussion online about the topic and whether or not Lewis County is in line with some other areas. Anyways, this story is kind of just trying to frame all of that together and just tell what is probably a fairly important story on a number of angles. The promotion, the issues of the deputy, the hundreds of calls out to the residents of a Lewis County commissioner who has been critical of the sheriff's office. It's, like I said, a little messy, but I think Emily.
It is long. This story is almost 2,000 words.
I think, but it had to be. I mean, I think there should be a story on the deputy's promotion to detective. I think there should be a story on the number of resources that are being drawn out to a commissioner's house, whether or not she's the one making the call. In this case, it's her husband. And then there's like a whole nother story of this 10-year-old neighbor dispute that is drawing in a lot of resources. And the one side is maybe the husband of the commissioner is a victim of harassment and abuse from the neighbor. There's also a bunch of videos that go along with it, just because when you call the police and you submit your own GoPro stuff, it ends up becoming public record. So interesting story. I think Emily did a very fair job with it. But I was sharing with you that I do think it's one of those stories that the principal sources are probably all going to hate. Like, from the police angle, you'll probably hate that the detective's past is being drawn out. From the Commissioner Pollock angle, you probably hate to see your husband drawn into news coverage. I get it. I understand. Emily, as she always does, approached it very conscientiously, took her time with it. She's been working on it for a few weeks off and on, and I think she did a nice job. Good story,
though. If you
though.
want to read that story, is it up now?
I have not got it posted yet. I've been, as you know, quite busy lately. I'm about halfway through.
You won't stop talking about it, yeah.
About halfway through posting this edition.
Nobody else has a job except you.
Thank you for finally saying that. You know, I needed that. I hope to get it uploaded this evening. If not, first thing tomorrow, I'll get it up there. It'll be on Chronline. But if you really want it, go buy a copy of the Chronicle tomorrow.
All right.
Edition.
And with that, we will take a break and be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met Jacek of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back from break. It's time for some segments. First up, Tales from the Takes page. We have a letter to the editor titled, Let's Take the Power Back from the Media and Just Be Kind to Each Other. And we have a response from the editor who says, no.
I'm on board with that. I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm not pitting anyone against anyone else.
Big media
approaching my job with an agenda.
I didn't really see anything else super exciting on the opinion page.
There's some decent stuff on there. I do, the media thing kind of does crack me up. Not this letter specifically, but you don't go a day without being accused of masterminding a plot or like burying a story or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I always try to like take note when I see that criticism, which is fine. I mean, people are welcome to do that. But like what I'm working on at that moment, and usually it's like, oh, I'm writing a brief about love letters from the experienced Chehalis whilst I accomplish this large plot. It cracks me up. Most of what I do is not very fun or interesting at all. Julie McDonald had a good column, bringing history to life more than 170 years later. It was about a diary written by a pioneer to the kind of South Thurston area, Fort Hennis, if you ever remember that from local history. Lots of cool stuff about coming over here in the 1800s, and he kept the journal his whole life, and the story is very good. Another really good Julie column. She keeps pumping them out.
All right.
See if that's all you saw is one single letter to the editor this week.
I saw that and I was like, you know what, this is enough.
What
we really need to do is talk about Shayla's Outfitters.
Oh, fine. I wanted to talk more
it's
about
their
it.
sweetheart
Rich opinion
sale.
Content.
It's their sweetheart sale. What are you going to get your sweetheart from Shayla's Outfitters?
Oh,
how about why don't you take her on a nice date to the free gardening event?
Oh, man,
February
she would love
15th
that.
at 10 a.m.
You got to RSVP for that, though.
It's a Saturday morning. But yeah, the sweetheart sale, you can get your picture taken with apparently a love pig. I'm not sure what this thing is.
Oh, they're doing the photo booth and everything?
Yeah.
That's great. We just saw Kelly moments ago, too.
Yeah, we did. They've got sales on Ariat Wrangler Key jeans. There was another one, but it's also Ariat. Those are some women's jeans.
Am I correct that there's a pink gun for sale?
I haven't gotten that far. You can get an American Endurance belt.
Okay.
You can tuck your gun into that belt, probably.
Probably.
I believe that's how guns and belts work.
Yeah.
What else do we have on sale? Flowers. Ooh, all kinds of, some 4-inch bulbs. Hell yeah. Barefoot fruit trees, 20% off. Potting soil, $4.49 a bag.
Oh, that's not bad.
Look at all these deals.
You get that for your garden.
Well, this gun isn't pink, but they're $50 off a SCCY firearms handguns.
$50 for a handgun, huh?
Sig Sauer 365 9mm, the perfect Valentine's Day gift. Says so right here. $999.95.
Oh, that's a good deal. A little overspending
Comes with a
for my
digital
budget.
pistol vault with Rose branding. Maybe that's a gun you were talking
Digital
about.
pistol vault? What is that?
Hey, you probably do like a thumbprint on it to get it
Okay.
to open.
All right. I like that. Some other Chehalis Outfitters news as you ply through for deals. We talked about smelt fishing last week. Well, I have bad news. Those cowards at the WDFW say no smelt fishing this week. We were supposed to have our first week of smelt fishing. But I have a gut assumption that there are just no smelt to be fished. So
That's too bad.
probably why. The next shot will be next week. They're announcing on the Friday before the week. This is new, also with the requirement that you have a fishing license to get smelt. So we'll know again on Friday whether you can go out there, and if you do, you can stop by Chehalis Outfitters. They've got the nets, the expertise, everything you need. Likewise, the Fish and Wildlife has announced that there are 7 days of coastal razor clam digs approved beginning on February 8th.
Oh, all right.
I always like how they frame it. In this case, they said the upcoming Tide Series will kick off some Super Bowl weekend daytime digging. Come dig some clams for your big game buffet or enjoy a Valentine's Day date gig. So
All right.
I shared this on the Chronicles Facebook with you do have to watch the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but you do not have to do it without razor clams.
You could do some day digging, then go do some day drinking. What
Yeah.
could be better?
I mean, why wouldn't you? I feel like it's one of the same. They also have a cute video here with a simple question. How many cows can you find in the store at Chehalis Outfitters?
Boy,
with
that's dangerous.
pictures of stuffed cows all throughout the area. I challenge anyone to go on there and count as many cows as you can and report. Also, they have classic Fisher-Price toys in stock now, including the TV radio box, a xylophone, record player, chatter telephone. This all sounds horrible as a parent of 3 young children. These are all loud toys. A little Snoopy pull-along toy, a CNC, and a cash register. It's pretty cool toys you might not think of when you're going to Chehalis Outfitters. And then, yeah, like you said, they've got the seminar coming up. Lots happening at Chehalis Outfitters.
Chehalis Outfitters, 1757 North National Avenue in Chehalis.
And if you're picking up that Thursday Chronicle to have a look-see through the content, the stories, you will see page 7 through 10 is all these deals at Chehalis Outfitters.
Whoa.
Yeah, lots of deals. We love our partners there.
Do you have a People's Champion of the Week?
Off the top of my head, sure. I'm going to give it to the Chronicle's newest reporter who just showed up yesterday.
Oh,
Jacob Moore. He'll be taking over the legislature, county government reporting, that sort of thing. He is my hero of the week because when we offered him the position, it sounded like he would want it but couldn't be here until March. We talked a little bit more, and he was like, you know what? I'll be there in 2 weeks. I didn't hear from him until yesterday, just assumed, and that was 2 weeks, that we would not have him. Got an email from him. He was like, hey, I'm here, ready to work. And then showed up yesterday and worked a full day today, and so far, so good. Oregon graduate. We'll have 2 of those in the newsroom when Dylan Rubin King joins us as our city reporter / sports reporter, one of our sports reporters, in March. Dylan's going to go to the 2B tournament in Spokane. And when he arrives back, he will no longer be NVN Dylan Rubin King. He will be Chronicle Dylan Rubin King.
wow.
I know.
What a great move for the young lad.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to having him, though. Rubes is the best.
Are you ready for the Sirens Banger of the Week?
I think so.
Woman arrested for aggressive, unsolicited advances at a bar.
Yeah, that's one you don't see very often.
35-year-old Centralia woman cited for 4th-degree assault with sexual motivation after she reportedly made aggressive, unsolicited advances towards other patrons at a bar on South Tower Sunday night. Back in the day, we would call this something else, but due to medical concerns, she was issued a citation instead of being arrested and booked into the jail, according to Centralia police. Diagnosis horny.
I guess so. You don't see anything. You don't see crimes like that very often. Let's be honest. It's usually a male, for one, who's being aggressive, romantically. Another item from today's Sirens report at 5:40 p.m. on February 3rd. A woman in Chehalis reported the wife of a man she slept with was harassing her over the phone and threatened to release information about the affair unless the woman paid her $5,000. It's a shakedown, my friend.
So did you get your $5,000 or not?
I said Chehalis, didn't I? Yeah, I didn't read the block number there, but it is in the story. I thought about pulling it out, but then I was like, I can't apply special things to different crimes in the report. We do that for, if the victim's related or if there's things where we'll omit that information, but this didn't really fall into it. So if you're a husband on this block on this street. you know who
Be
you
on the
are.
lookout.
If you're that husband, I don't know the situation here, but maybe you give her $5,000. Get to your wife
It seems like
and apologize.
It seems like this is your problem.
I feel like he should have been the one paying here.
Yeah. Do you think his wife would have noticed $5,000 missing?
Yeah, I don't know. And then there was another guy. I know you enjoy indecent exposure. So there was another guy in Chehalis whose genitals were exposed while he was working on a vehicle as people were driving by. So it's like
this was America, my
like
man.
plumber's crack, but plumber's front.
Just, you got to get in tune with the engine, all right?
I don't know. It was a Chehalis police report, too. Those come in as just straight up dispatch readouts. It's not a narrative. Centralia police give us a narrative, so there might be more to that one. I don't know.
All right. Well, there's no good segue for this, but the roof doctor wants to know if your roof is under the weather. Is your roof exposed? Is your home exposed?
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of snow lately out in East County. It's a good time to go check out your roof.
Absolutely. And the roof doctor is more than happy to help, drive out, meet you, give you a free estimate on the damage or throwing a whole new roof on there. You can give them a call at 360-736-0246. They offer new roofing, re-roofing, roof repair, roof cleaning, emergency roofing, and solar.
Solar, yeah, that's right. We always forget the solar. You don't sell that enough because you hate renewable energies.
Yep, that's... Well, I'm just like our commenters who believe that if it rains occasionally, you can never have sun.
Well,
or solar power.
how is it global warming if it's cold out, Aaron?
It's
Simple
true.
question.
Yeah.
Coward.
If the sun is hot, why is space cold? People are wondering.
That's what I want to know.
And with that, you can visit the Roof Doctor at www.theroofdoctor.com. Do you want to get into Facebook comments?
Can I run down a couple other news items? Or you want to do that after?
Sure.
Senate hears testimony on bills intended to address overcrowding at Green Hill. There's a whole set of hearings on 3 different bills on Monday. Emily reported on that. That'll be in tomorrow's edition. It's already up at chronline.com. Also have the honor roll for the White Pass Junior-Senior High School. And I noticed the district has already shifted back to its old logo. Were they the Panthers?
Yeah, White Pass Panthers and the Morton Huskies.
Yeah, okay. I've noticed both are ahead of, I think, next year that the sports are splitting up again, but both have shifted back to their original mascots in a lot of places.
Interesting. That's too bad.
Huskies, right, for Morton?
Yeah.
And then Panthers for there. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But you can read about the honor roll there. Go have a look. Let me see. We've got a Republican lawmaker, Barkas, wants to use climate commitment funds on just regular road projects, at least the critical ones. So he's got a bill to that effect up. Rubes, who we were just talking about, had Thurston County commissioners grappling with potential federal funding freeze. I thought Wayne Fournier, 4-time guest on this podcast, his quote was more or less like, look, our governor is not friends with the president, and if there's going to be harsh action here, we're probably going to get it. He probably right.
Yeah.
Like looking at how things have gone up to this point. Let's see. We've got some crime. Crime's not for this podcast, right? I guess we hit most of them. Another sirens banger type thing. It's not really a sirens banger. Woman arrested in 2023 for involvement in over 60 burglaries, including 6 in Lewis County, had her first hearing on the local case. This was do you remember 2023 or so, Lewis County Coffee Company got robbed, then they stole the truck.
Yes.
And then they burglarized several other businesses. They're all in prison now, both in prison, I should say, for other crimes, and now they're just being shifted around. We also had ICE identifies man arrested in Centralia. He is someone we have at least 3 sets of court photos for various crimes, mostly involving assault, one with sexual motivation. We're still keeping an ear out. I know that a lot of people are scared. We had the Centralia City Councilor Garibay who stood up and said that at a Centralia Council meeting the day before this one happened. We're not hearing yet of like deportations of regular Joes, that those A's or whatever.
Yet.
And I just want to note that we are looking out for that. I've been trying to keep an eye on all of the ICE media releases, social media presences, because I do know there's a sizable chunk of the population around here that is worried about that.
Yeah.
So far, this is the only one that we have heard of. Other than that, yeah, there's lots of news on Chronline, but I can just leave it at that for now.
All right, Facebook comments of the week. On the story of a Yakima coroner who stole drugs from dead people. This commenter says, he's dead wrong for that. It's mortifying to think that an elected official behaved so ghastly.
Oh, wow. They had a lot of fun with that, didn't they?
They did.
Was this at the Yakima corner?
Yeah.
That's still one of the wildest stories out there.
So the the body showed up with drugs?
I also had questions about that. But, like, if the coroner gets the body first in a lot of situations where it's not like a suspicious death, maybe. I don't really know the specifics, but I know
Who
he
reported him?
He got really high and ended up in the hospital and was, like, claiming it was, like, exposure or something at first, and then that he was having a medical thing. Huh. His story fell apart over time, and now there are criminal charges. But I don't know. When you're a coroner accused of lifting and doing drugs off, like, we got to have some bar here.
Do we? It's a victimless crime.
If you don't care about death investigations at all and don't mind your coroner just being all hopped up on fentanyl and whatever he finds, like, it also seems like the type of crime he's probably been getting away with for a long time. Like, I don't know. And a weird crime. Like, if you get elected and you have the expertise and professional background to be the coroner of Yakima County.
You don't have to have any expertise to be a coroner.
How shocked would you be if this was locally and they're like, hey, Warren McLeod's just been, lifting drugs and doing the lines.
What drugs are
there.
they?
I don't know. All the drugs. We have them all around here.
What if it's just like, some casual Molly?
He still shouldn't be doing it off of people's bodies.
Was he doing it while he's doing an operation?
I don't know.
Autopsy?
I assume so. I think it was kind of like a grab bag situation, like unwrapping a new pack of cards.
Ooh,
seeing if you got any good ones.
Pills and seeing what's in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a weird story.
What would be the weirdest drug to do while you are doing an autopsy?
I would say any drug while you're doing an autopsy. I'd probably be a little more forgiving if you just, had some THC vaping than if you're doing fentanyl.
Incorrect. The weirdest drug would be Viagra.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah, that would be weird. That'd be problematic.
Yeah, that's how he got caught. Anyway, on the story about the solar funding cuts, this commenter said, solar in Washington State? Absolutely stupid waste of money. You have to be mentally challenged if you think that solar investments in Washington, the rainy state, is a good idea. This commenter, a bunch of people replied and asked if he'd ever been to the east side of the state, where it is in fact quite sunny most of the year.
Yeah, that's fair. They have had some proposals for projects around here, and they have never really panned out, probably for that reason. But then there are, as you note, massive projects going. We mentioned Yakima, which one there, the biggest one in the state that's supposed to go, actually Tri-Cities area, I think. But yeah, I get it.
And then on a post about a young girl winning the Equestrian National Youth Sportsman's Award, this lady says, congratulations, horses will take you anywhere in the world. To which I say, anywhere.
To which you said,
I'd like to see you ride one to an island.
You and your anti-horse agenda.
No, I think horses are great. Just we have to have a covered area to ride them in.
Yeah. It's rainy, Aaron.
Have you ever seen a single cowboy movie?
I've been to lots of horse equestrian events that were indoors, specifically at fairs.
I just feel like what if WFS was like, you know what, we need to put an indoor stadium in. That's the only way you can play football.
I think people would probably make that happen, and they'd probably fund it because it's Chehalis.
They don't even have turf.
Well, they do on their baseball field.
You fool.
They do on their baseball field.
Yeah, because baseball, shit can get rained out.
If they wanted turf on the field, Chehalis would put turf on the field. I feel like.
Maybe. What is Zach doing?
Why
is he sneaking in? He left his bag
he left his laptop. Sports dump relic.
Yeah.
Bye, Zach. How was Zach on Sports Dump today?
He was good. He's always
good.
Mid, huh? He's always good. What? Anything else we need to mention before we shut this one off?
No, Sports Dump. That'll be up on Chronline tonight as well, though, right?
This is Thursday.
Yeah.
So Sports Dump went up Wednesday.
I see.
Which is today.
Gotcha. My bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you're listening to this, Sports Dump is at chronline.com.
We've already discussed what's in the next edition, kind of. The big story about chickens and maybe a sheriff with a questionable past, some other things.
Deputy
commissioners.
Yeah, that should be interesting. We'll also be covering the Economic Alliance of Lewis County banquet on Friday.
Oh.
We give out the Russ Money Environmental Conservation Award.
I heard this year it's going to a horse. A waterproof horse.
I hope so. I hope it goes to a horse. And the EDC gives out their awards as well. And we're going to send Jake Moore, our new reporter, and Ridley Hudson, photographer, will be there, along with a couple tables, I think, for the Chronicle.
All right.
Or at least
Sounds
one
great.
table.
Can't believe I haven't gotten my invite, but...
Yeah, you're never winning the Russ Money Award. I'm sorry. You haven't done shit for the outdoors.
In closing, we're sponsored by Summit Funding, Sheila's Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want. Send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.